Grundy takes a big step in 1A. The Backyard Brawl delivers once again, and Graham and Ridgeview are on a collision course in 2D. Welcome to episode 5.7 After the Whistle. I'm your host, Brian Moore, along with
Tom Krieger
and
nobody.
That's right. Coach Tester will be here with us very shortly here today. He is a little bit late, taking care of some business here at BELLACINO'S. Probably back there eating some pizza or something, but nonetheless, he will be with us. So
he also wants to thank George With for stopping by and eating their pregame meal here.
That's right, folks. If you come to Grundy or anywhere else as far as that goes, stop by BELLACINO'S and eat your pregame meal right here.
Tell him ATW sent you.
That's right. All right. Well, we've got a whole lot of stuff to take care of and cover. Let's take a look at last week's games.
We still got undefeated teams.
I think we still have a couple, but not as many as we once had. First, right off the bat, let's talk about the big game here in Grundy. Grundy 42, George With 28.
You know, like people talk, I went to Emory on Saturday, and that was the big talk of Grundy beating George With. Not that people shocked that they beat them. It's how they beat them.
Right.
I mean, dominated them.
Well, Isaiah Boyd come out, 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, finished the game with 11 carries, 238 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
He was the difference maker. I was there, and he was running hard and fast.
What do you think that the possibility that maybe George With was really focused on Scammell opened things up for Isaiah, because he hasn't been getting as many carries or touches?
That's true. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, George With is known for their defense. I mean, they play Graham, they play Gay, they see backs like this. I don't know what happened. I don't know if, just Grundy won the line of scrimmage and Isaiah took it to the house.
Well, 3 touchdowns in the first quarter alone. I mean, Grundy led 22-7 after 1. On the road, that's going to be pretty tough to do anything with. But you was talking about Grundy running the ball, 427 yards rushing for the game. You give up 427 yards on the ground, you're probably not going to win a ball game for that matter. But no, George With was game. They kept trying to come back. They just couldn't stop Grundy.
That's right. And they were on their backup quarterback, and then he got injured. But I talked with a couple people from George With, and they just said, it might have made a little difference, but they just said Grundy gave them old Southwest Virginia whipping.
Well, George With did have 224 yards passing on the night. And I tell you, put a little asterisk beside that, because that's a note. Teams have been able to pass the ball against Grundy. And that could be an Achilles heel for Grundy moving forward.
Yeah, they're going to have to address it. It is what it is. They might be doing the best they can.
Right.
In high school, if a team's throwing the ball, it's hard for anybody to stop it, for one.
Right.
So,
Tazewell in the rain had a lot of success.
And I was talking to a couple kids from Grundy, and they couldn't believe. Tazewell threw the ball almost every play, and it rained the whole game, and they never turned it over.
Right. No, only 1 turnover the entire game.
That's pretty impressive.
So Grundy with a big win there, and that's going to actually help them out.
Them way. That basically put them in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, big ratings points picked up there by the Golden Wave. So that's one of our big games from last week. Lee defeated J.I. Burton 53-34. Grayson Huff scored a 3-yard go-ahead touchdown run with 6:27 left to go in the game. Put the Generals up for good. And that score, I think, put them up 39-34. They were trailing by 1. But then in the last 3 minutes of the game, Lee picks up a couple other insurance touchdowns and finishes the game out. So Lee with a good win there for them. I think that's their 4th win maybe for the season. So PH 30, Holston 17. This is a big rivalry game. McPhail had 38 carries in that game for 186 yards and 1 touchdown for the Rebels. 27 of the first 33 plays in the second half, went to McPhail. PH gave him the ball 27 out of 33 plays.
Wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I would too. But what I'm saying is, you start looking at that down the line. If you can't stop it, they're going to keep doing it.
That's facts.
It's obvious. And I don't blame Coach for doing that, because if something's working, you stay with it.
If it ain't broke,
But Goodspeed also had 12 carries for the Rebels and went over the century mark also for 106 yards. The game was tied 10-all at the half, which was a tight game, kind of like we expected, but PH pulls it out, and they too are now moving a little bit more toward the top there in 1A in the region. Abingdon 35, Marion 6. This is a game went about the way we expected, but Marion was game for most of the game anyhow. At least at halftime, the score was 14-0 Abingdon, and then Marion scored early in the third quarter, made it 14-6. But you could tell the game was getting ready to break open at any minute, and then Abingdon just took off with them. Alex Hawkins had 26 carries for 144 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Falcons, who pick up the win there. Wise 41, John Battle 14. The first 20 minutes of this game, John Battle played tight, kept it respectful. Then Wise scored 27 straight unanswered points. 324 to 95 offensive advantage there for Wise in the win. Next, we had the big Backyard Brawl. We'll talk about this one just a little bit. This one lived up to all expectations and hype you would have expected going into it. Tazewell was the favorite. This is like the fifth time that Tazewell's won this game in the last 32 meetings.
Richland's up by 3 and late in the third or something like that, or
not quite sure about that. I know that Dylan Brown had an unbelievable night.
Had another great night.
For Richlands, keeping them in it. 368 yards of offense, had 5 touchdowns for the Blues. But impressively, Tazewell had 404 yards of total offense in the game, and the Creasy kid had 6 touchdown passes. So Tazewell continues to throw the ball. And if you look back 10 years ago, the roles were reversed on this. Richlands was throwing the ball, and Tazewell was on the other end of it. So the Bulldogs continue to improve as well as one of the top teams in 2D. All right, Virginia High 49, Honaker 13. This is the 5th straight win for Virginia High.
It was on TV.
Yeah, Aiden Lowe had only had 14 yards on 4 carries after that record-setting performance last week. So Virginia High seemed to maybe hold him in check. I don't know why he only had 4 yards, four carries. Excuse me. Maybe there was an injury or something involving there, but. I was looking at it, and my question is Virginia High trying to win 1A or 2A? Because it seems like that's all they're playing. Maybe I'm missing something here. All right, Ridgeview 20, Union 11. This was a big one.
Wasn't that close there for a while?
It was a little bit there. Cannon Hill, 86 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns for the Wolfpack. Oakwin likewise had 80 yards rushing as well as about 86 yards passing. So Oakwin getting into the scrambling a little bit instead of giving up the pass. And then of course Rayshawn Anderson, that's the one we always talk about. 46 yards on the ground for Union.
Well, when you got a quarterback that can do it with his feet, throw the football, I mean Ridgeview's going to be tough to beat.
Well, I think the fact that Oakwin, and I'm sure
they play Graham in the regular season.
I know.
So they'll face them again in the region finals.
It's what it's starting to look like. Ridgeview, the fact that Oakwin appears to have more yards rushing during this particular game implies that maybe Union did a really good job of tying up those receivers or changing up their coverages and creating some confusion. But on the positive side for Ridgeview, when Oakwin, getting these reps in and running the ball, he's just showing that he's a lot more dangerous. Just as dangerous.
And that's going to make the defense.
Yeah. Now you're going to have to be really honest.
Right.
So it's a good thing for them. But Ridgeview comes out with a 20-11 win, and that's a big conference win there, a district win. Lebanon 42, Northwood 0. The 9th grader, the Reese kid for Lebanon, had 4 touchdown passes for Darrell Taylor's team. Northwood.
He was the difference maker that day.
Lebanon is now 4-3, and that's a pretty positive step for the Pioneers. Northwood's 3-game winning streak is now over. They are sitting at 3-3. All right, we got 2 more games here. Rye Cove and Eastside over in the Cumberland District. Rye Cove 35, Eastside 14. Landon Lane ran for 2, and passed for 1 touchdown. He got 3 touchdowns for the game for the War Eagles, and like I said, I'm calling them the War Eagles until.
What is that? Their 5th win, 6th
They're
win?
6-1 now. Rykov had 338 yards of offense. Eastside falls to 0-7. Rykov now 6-1.
Well, I got a little kind of a scoop of Eastside and what's going on a little bit. I think what I was told at the Emory game, they were talking and it got brought up and says they got a lot of young kids that held back, that they're going to be pretty good here in a couple of years.
They've just been thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Well, hopefully they can get through the season and pick up some positive out of it moving forward. Twin Springs 42, Castlewood 21, 12. 42-12. Mustard Biscuit Brigade not able to get it done. Reinhorn 364 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns for the Titans in the win. 17 carries, 90 yards, and 1 touchdown for Caden Lastly for the Blue Devils on the ground in a losing effort. Castlewood has now dropped 5 straight games. Are sitting at 1-5. Also a somewhat undermanned and inexperienced squad there at Castlewood. But that wraps it up for our scores from last week. We'd like to thank Buchanan Therapy Services located in the Grundy Plaza for sponsoring our weekly recap. And now we're going to move on to our True Point Bank Peak Performer of the Week. And this week's Peak Performer of the Week is Mr. Ryan Horn from Twin Springs High School. Ryan had 364 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns in the win against Castlewood. So Castlewood. And so on behalf of True Point Bank, our Peak Performer of the Week, Mr. Ryan Horn, Twin Springs High School.
Congratulations.
All right. Up next, Coach, we got our movie lines. But first of all, we'd like to congratulate Haley Moore for being our winner of our Who Said It last week. She was the first one to respond on our Facebook page, and she guessed that it was the Godfather quote, and she guessed it correctly, and she has now been entered to win a free pizza here at Bellacino'S. So far, Rochelle Palmer, her name has been entered, and Mr. Alex Tabor has been entered 3 times, and then Haley Moore has been entered 1 time. And if you want to have an opportunity to win a free pizza, all you have to do is respond to our Facebook page. As soon as we post this will be episode 5.7, in the comment section, just put the answer to the Who Said It, which is coming up right now. Once again, that's at After the Whistle on Facebook. All right, Coach, we've got a quote for today, and we're going to let you take it away.
You gonna eat your cornbread? How about I eat your cornbread?
For those that didn't get it, we're going to say it one more time.
You gonna eat your cornbread? How about I eat your cornbread?
All right, folks, there you have it. That's the quote of the day. Put in the comment section on our Facebook page, right where you see episode 5.7. Be the first one to comment, and you will be entered to win a free pizza here at Bellacino'S. Speaking of Bellacino'S, each week we film the show here, and each week we have a Bellacino'S Player of the Week, and this week's Player of the Week is Mr. Isaiah Boyd from Grundy High School. Isaiah, 11 carries, 238 yards, and 4 touchdowns in Grundy's big win against George Wythe. And we're going to take a look at Isaiah Boyd.
All right, guys, we're here with our Bellacino'S Player of the Week, Mr. Isaiah Boyd from Grundy High School. Had a big night against George Wythe this past week. Had 238 yards rushing on 11 carries and 4 touchdowns on a big shocker against George Wythe. Isaiah, I know everybody's talking about what big game it was and big win it was for you guys. Just talk a little bit about the game and what went on during that game.
Yeah, it was a good game. We came out playing hard. Everything was clicking for us. Defense was good, moving the ball well offensively, and just played a full complete game and did what we had to win.
Good deal, man. And I know you mentioned to me earlier, but it seemed like that game that y'all dominated the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. We up front, we couldn't ask for a better game. Made it easy for us in the backfield. Just it's a good game.
Good deal. I stopped by for a couple plays, and I probably seen 3 or 4 of them, or 2 of those touchdowns while I was there for 1 quarter. So anyway, I know you got a big game coming up against J.I. Burton, and let's talk about what you got to do to keep this momentum going.
Just got to keep our head down, keep working throughout this week, and just keep the momentum going and just play football.
Well, good deal, man. Well, y'all are on the radar now, so just keep grinding, man, and congratulations on this week. All right.
All right, once again, congratulations to Mr. Isaiah Boyd from Grundy High School being our BELLACINO'S player of the week.
I want to say something. It's about time he starts playing like he's daddy.
Finally starting to live up to expectations a little bit.
Whoa!
Look who
Whoa!
Had some
Look
stuff
good
got
here.
taken.
I think he had to fire a couple.
Old Kramer has arrived here.
What's happening? Where we at?
I'm leaving now.
Where we at?
Well, we're at that moment in the show each week where we try our best to stump the CRIG. We just dumped the pizza. That's all right. He just turned the pizza tray over there. But we try to stump the CRIG. This is brought to you by Grundy Auto Sales. Stop by and see the folks at Grundy Auto Sales. They line your tires. They'll sell you tires. They got wheels. They'll rotate your tires, change your oil, and they'll sell you a quality pre-owned vehicle. All right. So the way this works is each week we are given an envelope. That envelope is a hermetically sealed envelope. I have it right here in my hand, and this envelope is stored in a True Point Bank vault for the entire week, and armed security actually keeps an eye on it. And just recently when we arrived here, an armored truck delivered it, and security brought it in, and this time it was 3 men wearing black. Kind of interesting. These 3 guys brought this in, but I do have the hermetically sealed envelope. It could have been 2 of us. So the way it works is Coach Krieger is going to try to guess the answers. Well, they're going to guess. He doesn't guess. He just gets it correct.
Yeah, there's no guessing. It ain't a guess. That's on something.
That is that.
Yeah.
No brag, just fact. I
That's
don't know
fact.
anyhow. All right, so I have here this envelope. The question is in the envelope. I have not seen the question. He's not seen it, but yet he's going to tell me the answer to the question in this envelope without ever seeing or reading it. I've not seen it. You haven't seen it. Is that correct?
Facts.
Facts. All right. So you need this. You need to do your osmosis.
Oh, I got it.
You got it. All right. So the answer to this question. Tell me the answer.
Well, first, you need to edit me spilling that pizza.
I sure will.
All right.
What about them wings? You spill them wings too?
They were good. Lost souls.
Oh, getting all religious here.
Yes, lost souls.
Lost souls. This ought to be a good one, boys. What do you call shoes that no longer have a purpose? Lost souls. Man, I tell you what, he's
The
good.
bullet's calling me.
Oh, the bullet. The bullet.
Bullet Bill.
It says
Yeah.
Bill's sale right on his phone there. All right, you got that one right. Lost souls. What do you call shoes that no longer have a purpose? Well, I have envelope number 2
That's
here
right.
in my hand. Envelope number 2. What is the answer to this question that is inside this envelope?
Conflicted.
You mean that's the answer, or you are conflicted?
Conflicted.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Final answer is conflicted.
He's conflicted.
What do you call a cannibal that lives alone? Conflicted.
Oh, I can't make it up.
That's true. I mean, can you imagine Jeffrey Dahmer living by himself? He probably would have ate his own leg off.
Poor old
what I'm
Dahmer.
saying?
He wouldn't be conflicted.
He wouldn't. He didn't have to worry about it though, did he?
Nope.
All right. Well, there we go, folks. Once again, we failed to stump the CRIG. We'll try again next week. Once again, if you have a suggestion or something that we could submit, please don't mind to send it to us. Hit us a PM there on our Facebook page. All right, coming up next, we've got our Wooden Horse Grill Top 5 picks, and brought to you by the Wooden Horse Grill in Hurley, Virginia. Food so good it makes your tongue want to slap your brains out. All right, we'll come back in just a moment and take a look at our top 5. All right, well, let's take a look at our top 5. We're going to start with 1A. Fellas, I'll go ahead and do my picks first. Number 5, 1A, I've got the Hurley Rebels coming in. Number 5, number 4, the Rye Cove War Eagles. Number 3, the Retreat Indians. And number 2, Patrick Henry Rebels. And at number 1, I've got the Grundy Golden Wave. What about you, Coach? 1A.
1A at number 5, I got the War Eagles coming in at number 5, the Rye Cove War Eagles. Number 4 is the Norton Raiders, John I. Burton, number 4, getting ready to take on the Wave this week. Number 3, I got the Royal Retreat Indians. I say it like that anyway.
You don't try to do that.
Number 2, flip this one around a little bit. I got the Golden Wave at number 2. Just because they lost round 1 or first week to PH, so I'm still going with PH at number 1. So those are my top 2 right now.
All right. Now, what do you got?
My 1A is pretty easy. Got Rye Cove at 5, War Retreat at 4, PH at 3, the Hurley Rebels at 2, and the Grundy Golden Wave at the top, baby.
For both of us,
It's over. Grundy will be the region champions.
we're giving some love right here to Hurley and our man over here ain't. What about
Hey,
that?
boys, I'm gotta keep it humble, man.
That's true. You gotta be humble. I agree. I like it.
Now they might be 1 or 2 in that top 5. I think Hurley might be better than.
There you go. I like it. Don't keep it humble. All right. So my top 5 in 2A here. I've got Gate City Blue Devils coming in at 5. Union Bears sitting at 4. Tazewell Bulldogs number 3. Ridgeview Wolfpack at 2. And the Graham G-Men still sitting atop at number 1.
Mine looks somewhat similar. I got the Bearcats of Virginia High coming in at number 5. I got the Bull Puppies of Tazewell coming in at number 4. The Union Bears is still hanging around number 3. The Wolfpack is number 2 until they can get rid of the Patron.
All right.
The Patron's been around for years. Where's my top 5 there? I got number 5, I got the Bull Puppies, still playing good ball. I got the Great City Blue Devils at number 4. And Union dropped a notch for me this week to number 3.
What you gonna do when Lions beats them this week?
Number 2, I got the Ridgeview Wolf Puppies, playing good ball, and they will be playing the number 1 team around, the Palmer Patrons, in the region finals here in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Who will?
All right.
Play?
Ridgeview and Graham will be playing for the region championship. And if they're not,
What?
Gate City will be.
All right, boys, you heard it.
Heard it here first.
If it comes to pass, we're going to call you a prophet. All right, well, there you go for our top 5, fellas. Brought to you by the Wooden Horse Grill in Hurley, Virginia. Up next, we have our pigskin prognostications brought to you by Buchanan General Hospital. And Buchanan General Hospital, located here in Grundy, Virginia, brings us the prognostications each week. And we're going to take a look at this week's games. We got quite a few interesting games. The game is going to be a little bit difficult to pick, but I want to go over last week's results real quick. I was 12-2 last week, makes me 75-23 overall.
I didn't miss any.
Tester 13-1 last week. Good week for you.
Oh, okay.
71-27
believe
overall. And Krieger, you was 13-1.
Oh, who did I lose?
76, and we all three got one game wrong. 76-22. So right now you are the overall leader.
Does that shock anybody?
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at it. We're going to
Coach
start.
Tester caught one up on us.
Yeah, he
Or on you.
He gave one on me, not on you. Marion at Richlands.
Richlands. Going with the Blues.
I'm
Get
going.
back on track.
I'm
What they
going-
lost? 6 straight?
I'm going with Dylan Brown.
Big.
Another 300-yard game.
All right, Rich. I think that's very possible. Richlands seems to have found a little bit of a groove with that running game there, and I'm sure that they're not going to go away from it now. Marion will be game for a quarter, and I think after that it's just going to be all Richlands. So I'm going Richlands across the board. That's a lock. John Battle at Ridgeview. Ridgeview just got too much for Battle.
Ridgeview.
Battle is
Across the board.
Battle's
picking that
definitely
for
showing
everybody.
improvement though.
They're like-
they hung with
they're-
Wise a little bit last week.
They're like Lehigh. They're much improved.
Yeah. And, 20 minutes they were in that game over there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Floodgates. I think it's pretty much Ridgeview big in this one.
Yes.
Across the board, Ridgeview, that's a lock. All right, Gate City at Lehigh. This is going to be a good one. This is a tough one here. This can go either way.
I'm going with Gate City. I like Lehigh, just not ready. They're going to be, but they're about a year away. Not saying they can't, but Gate City.
Gate
This
City.
could be one of them program changing wins. I'm going
could
Gate
be.
City though.
It could be, but I think they're still a year away for one of them program changing wins. They are on the right track.
I think they are too. I just think Gate City's been in tighter games against better competition, and I think Lehigh's going to be game, but not enough. All right, so across the board we got Gate City. So far we agree on everything. That's hard to believe. Wise at Union. This is going to be a good one.
Wise at Union.
I'm going with the Backpackers. They come back, good game plan. They keep the ball from Wise, and they win in a close one.
It's going to be tough for Wise. It's at Union.
At
too.
Bullet.
It's at Bullet
It's
Park.
at Shotgun Park.
Phil having all his state championship teams back, and I think Mitchell's coming back for something.
Oh, Lord.
No pressure.
He's not
But I think
coming.
Wise might pull it off.
All right. All right, boys.
Oh, hold on.
As close as almost was in.
Playing at Barney Park, boys, is the difference.
Yeah.
You get that?
I want Wise to.
Barney Park.
I'm going to go with the Bears on this one.
Bears.
First time I picked against Central in 3-4 years.
All right, it sure is. Once again, across the board, we got the Bears. So no pressure on Union coaching staff or anything. It's one thing to live up to the community's expectations. It's an entirely different thing to live up to ours.
Hold up.
Is that not true?
Hold up.
Oh, he's second guessing his.
You got to catch us on something, and this is
This
close.
is one you could get us on right here.
I don't know what else is down the line.
Go ahead. Hey, you Cowboys are 4-1. You might be on the streak right now. All right, Tazewell at Bluefield. If the Dogs are going to get them, this is the year to do it. But it's at Bluefield.
The Dogs. I'll go ahead and make my pick.
I'm going with the
Dogs,
puppies
baby.
too. I think the quarterback's too good,
I'm going with them too. I think the passing game, but this is
scoring a lot of
Hey,
points.
will this be a big win for Tassel if they can pull this thing off? I mean, just for as far as
Was this
morale goes and stuff. This is a move in the right direction. But I'm gonna go
Who's
with
beat Bluefield?
about everybody.
Graham did.
Castlewood at Lebanon.
Passing game too much for the Blue Devils.
All right, I'm going with Lebanon as well in this one. I think Lebanon is moving in the right direction. I think Castlewood is still a very young team.
Yeah, I'm going with Levy.
All right, once again, across the board, folks. All these are locks so far. Phelps, Kentucky, at Thomas Walker.
Thomas Walker.
Tom Walker, I'm going with them as well. I think they get the big win here,
I agree.
especially considering how they played against the Union. I think it could get ugly. I think Tom Walker could win this one big. Holston at Northwood.
What do you mean the way they played against Union?
They played well against Union.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I mean, they still got pretty well beat.
40-0.
Yeah, but they played well.
Who?
Tom Walker. They played decent against them.
Maybe we need to play Union.
Holston at Northwood. Holston at Northwood.
Holston.
I think Holston takes care of business in this one. It's not going to be a long trip back home for the Panthers, but it's going to be a long ride home. You know what I'm saying? Holston across the board. Fellas, so far we're evened up on everything.
Well,
Yes.
Northwood's playing at home.
I'm sorry, it is. It is at Northwood. I was thinking it was at Holston. All right. George Wythe at Galax.
Galax.
Can the Roos
Galax.
rebound?
No.
You don't think they can?
No. Too banged up.
Galax, I think the quarterback situation is what I'm concerned about with George Wythe, so I'm going to take Galax as well. Coach, is that who you got?
Going with Galax, yes.
Galax, there's another lock. Okay, Chill High at Rural Retreat.
Not too high.
Not Chilhowie. I agree with you. I'm going with Rural Retreat big in this one. What about you, Coach?
Rory.
Okay, big for the Indians.
I got to
Grundy.
spend a day with Jamie Hughes. And shout out to my other lineman there at Emory, Mikey Hughes. He coaches the offensive and defensive line at Lehigh. That could be another reason they're playing a lot better. If y'all remember Mikey, one heck of a lineman. Bench pressed about 500, squat about 700.
So you was in the weight room with him all the
I
time.
watched
Is
him.
that who trained you?
Yes, that's who I watched. It made me stronger.
Just watching.
Watching him.
Yeah. All right, Grundy at J.I.
That's
Burton.
here. No, I ain't lying, boys. That's hearsay. I wasn't in there. Does that shock you?
No, it does. Yeah, it shocks me. Grundy at Burton.
I see Krieger walking there with a tight underarm shirt on.
Oh, shit. Who you got, Grundy Burton?
I got a picture of him in one of them somewhere when he was working out. Not to change the subject. You remember that Krieger? He was in that tight gray Under Armour shirt. I got a picture of him. You just got through bench pressing, I believe.
I guess.
You walked up to the press box at East Side.
God,
Oh,
it was hot up there. Yeah. Sweet God. We was over there thoroughly, buddy, and I was up there in that press box, and it was hot. It was hot.
He started stripping up in the press box. But anyway, where was he?
Grundy Burton.
I'm going with the mighty wave on this one. I just think they're too good up front, too physical for J.I. Burton.
All right, Grundy across the board. Twin Springs at East Side. I'll pick
Twin
first
Springs.
Twin Springs. Yeah.
East Side's, I guess, rebuilding for what I heard this weekend.
Twin Springs, who you got?
Twin Springs.
Twin Springs across the board. Honeacre at Hurley. Here we go, boys.
I'll pick. I'm going with the Hurley Rebels.
I'm picking Hurley too, because it's at the Clift. I think Hurley has a little bit of advantage offensively, and now
This is a pretty good match.
Honeacre's got some key players on offense. I think it's going to be a good football game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's a good matchup. Got a lot of good skilled kids.
I just
With the Hurley Rebels.
think that Hurley's going to control the clock.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. All right, fellas, big game. Big game, at least for all them Vol fans. Number 3, Alabama at number 6, Tennessee.
Ooh. UT will find a way to mess it up.
Well, they already did. They lost another one. They're starting safety. He beat the crap out of somebody.
Yeah, I'm going with the Tide. Roll Tide, baby.
Who you got, Coach?
I'm not picking Bama. I know that. So I'm going with.
All right, so you're taking Tennessee. huh?
Absolutely, boys.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Tennessee too, because I think if they're ever
It's
going
their
to
time. That's right.
if they're ever going to do it,
Bryce Young's banged up. How good's he going to be?
Yeah. I think, I still think, probably the favorite, hands down, is Alabama. The fact it's at Knoxville, the fact that they are red hot and they are wanting this. There's something happening in Tennessee, boys. I don't know what it is, but it's changing.
It's because of apples. They got apples in there.
Knows that what it is?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going with Tennessee also. All right. Number 10, Penn State. At number 5, Michigan. I'm going with Michigan in this one.
Who they playing?
Penn State. It's at
Oh,
Michigan.
I'm going Michigan with number 2 all the way. baby.
Michigan is already locked in a spot in the
Playoff?
playoff.
How?
I just read it yesterday. Who you
Huh?
got?
Because they ain't going to lose?
Well, assuming that they don't lose.
Well, they got to play Ohio State at the end.
Harbaugh will.
I like him. I like old Harbaugh.
Michigan. Michigan across the board. All right, the Bills and the Chiefs. The Chiefs.
Where's it at?
It's at Kansas City.
The Bills.
I'm going with Bills also in this one. On the road, boys, I'm picking them.
See, I would go with the Chiefs, but who beat the Bills the other day? Miami.
Yeah, but they would.
That's what I'm saying. They're not, and the Chiefs won last night.
Yep.
I'm going with the Bills.
Analyzing all that.
But no, it's a smart doing.
Smart decision here.
Yeah.
All right, Cowboys
Duh.
at the Eagles. Hey, Eagles what, 5-0?
Cooper Rush by the end of that.
Or is it going to
If
be?
they don't start Dak.
Okay, so you're going with Dallas?
I'm going with Cowboy. I'm going with Cooper.
All right.
But I got to change my pick if Dak plays.
No.
Yeah.
I'm with the Eagles.
That's right. That's me. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Well, I'm going to change my
So,
picks if this other team
well,
gets the
I'm-
lead on this team over
so I'm
here.
gonna-
No, we know that Dak's
I'm
out.
gonna call you.
He could play. If Dak, I'm telling you, I'm picking the Cowgirls, and if Dak Prescott plays, my pick is the Eagles. So you all know that. I'm with Coach
That's
Tester on
what you're
this.
doing.
What?
You're going to go with the same decision on this game. If Dak starts, you're picking the Eagles? Okay.
Me
no,
too.
I'm going with Dallas either way, but I hope.
Okay.
They don't play.
I'm taking the Eagles straight up, boys. In Philly, that crowd will eat that bunch alive.
What was the NFL? Is WWE.
The NFL, well, that's true. All right.
Eagles not going undefeated.
I don't have any other things. That's all of our games for this week. You guys got anything before we get out of here?
That'd be a negatory.
All right, got no riddle for us or nothing?
Oh yeah, I do. Dagnabbit, I forgot it. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Riddle me this. I got one. I knew I had it.
Had in your head already.
Yeah. What did one plate whisper to the other plate?
I got you covered.
What did one plate say to the other plate? Dinner's on me.
God, that's terrible. All right. Well, I don't have anything. You guys don't have anything. Till next time, I'm Coach Moore,
Coach Tester.
Coach Krieger.
reminding you that you don't need a parachute to go skydiving, but you do need one to go skydiving 2 times. Good day.